Hey, listen!
Welcome everyone, this is Andre's Restart, and we just got some news last night that have implications for even more exciting announcements coming from Nintendo later this year, and they are coming from Jeff Grubb, and there's a little bit more that we can maybe extrapolate from this, so that's what we're talking about today. But before going forward, let me point out that we are aiming to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you do enjoy my content, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. With your help, it just might be possible. So I'll be linking Jeff Grubb's podcast, Last of the Nintendogs, in the description below. You can check it out. The information starts around the 12-minute mark, but it's an overall great show, so please give it a watch. It's fantastic. But Jeff Grubb, who's a known industry journalist who gets all sorts of inside knowledge before things happen around the industry, including Nintendo, is at it again, and he's dared himself to come out and say some things to stir the pot, but they are indeed things that he is hearing. So this is what was said. Something Zelda that is not Tears of the Kingdom related is happening later this year. That's what was said regarding Zelda. And something else was said regarding Metroid, and we'll get to that in a little bit, but let's first focus on this Zelda portion. So it's not related to Tears of the Kingdom. If we assume that to be true, what might this mean? Because I still think Tears of the Kingdom DLC can happen, but it hasn't been announced yet. So is it possible that Nintendo is already moving away from Tears of the Kingdom and the next big Zelda thing is going to occur and there won't be any DLC? Anything is possible. But given that over 90% of Nintendo's published titles that aren't remasters or ports get DLC, I think there's a really good chance that Tears of the Kingdom will also get DLC. But I do believe they may be spacing out the timing of when this DLC is announced. They may want to time it closer to the release of Switch 2, so it can be available for both systems. That's my personal thinking at this point. We'll see how things shake out. But if this is the case, then Nintendo may want to do something in between. And maybe that has to do with the supposed Zelda stuff that we may be getting later this year. So Jeff Grubb doesn't know exactly what it is. Just something Zelda. What might make sense is what a lot of you may be thinking, hoping for: Twilight Princess and/or Wind Waker HD. They've been rumored for some time. Many sources have indicated that they will eventually come to Switch. It seems like they're just kind of sitting on a shelf somewhere. Nintendo's waiting for the right time to announce them. Maybe they want to put Twilight Princess and Wind Waker out there now, or relatively soon, within the next 6 months or so, to help fill up the gaps as Nintendo preps their transition over to their next generation. That could be it. But let's entertain other possibilities, because something Zelda can mean a whole bunch of things. For example, what if we're finally going to get an announcement of a 2D Zelda game? A 2D Zelda game, I would say, would set itself more apart than even Twilight Princess or Wind Waker. It's a very different style of Zelda that I think would be very welcomed by a large part of the fan base, and it's been a long time. I do think eventually it's going to come, maybe in a September Nintendo Direct, which also Jeff Grubb suggested would be coming, which shouldn't come as any surprise because we get that every single year. Maybe that's when they finally announce this next Zelda game, but it won't be coming out till sometime in the middle of next year. I think that is a reasonable possibility. But there's a few other things. Who's to say it's an actual game announcement? Something Zelda that isn't Tears of the Kingdom related does not actually have to be a whole game. We recently heard that Illumination is looking to be making a Legend of Zelda movie. If everything here is finalized, maybe Nintendo will make that announcement. They will make an announcement for a Zelda movie. I doubt it would include a trailer, but who knows? That could potentially be the news. Even if they can't give us a trailer, maybe they could give us some insight or some concept art or something to get us excited for the future of Zelda. Maybe there's just like a big Zelda segment in the next Nintendo Direct where they announce the Zelda movie, talk a little bit about it, and also show off Tears of the Kingdom DLC. That might make even more sense to me than the other things we've talked about. But I'll throw out another possibility. There has been a lot of talk of Switch 2, and I know some people are totally tired of it, but the fact of the matter is, when we're hearing Switch 2 talk within legal documentation and court cases, when we're hearing about it from executives from other companies like Ubisoft, things are happening. We don't know exactly when it's going to come out, we don't know exactly when it's going to get announced, but things are happening. So having the conversation is absolutely warranted in my opinion. And there are rumors suggesting that we could be seeing an announcement this year for an early release next year. If that is to happen, there may be some sort of event, maybe it's in the September Direct, maybe it's something else, where they have some sort of announcement or a trailer, and perhaps they have a tech demo of something that kind of showcases what the system can do. And you know what kind of tech demos Nintendo likes to show off to showcase what the hardware can do when they don't have a brand new Zelda ready? A Zelda tech demo. So maybe that something Zelda is a Zelda tech demo to just give us an idea of what the next Nintendo system could do for Zelda. Outside of those things, maybe just a Zelda spin-off. I think there should be more Zelda spin-offs. And I'm not talking about another Warriors game, although that's not totally out of the question. It would be nice to just see something different. Maybe something where Princess Zelda is a star. Maybe a Tingle-related game. Or maybe something that still stars Link, but is multiplayer-centric. Really, there is a number of possibilities, but given how big Zelda has become, and given how big Mario is with all the different variants we have of Mario and all of its spin-offs, maybe we should be getting more Zelda spin-offs. This at least gives me a fair bit of optimism for some sort of fun, exciting announcement related to Zelda outside of Tears of the Kingdom DLC, likely during a September Nintendo Direct, and if it doesn't happen then, sometimes the timing of these things can be a little bit off. Maybe it would come in the February Nintendo Direct, which potentially could make more sense because maybe Nintendo wants to announce Tears of the Kingdom DLC, and they want to do that first before this next Zelda project. Only time will really tell. But that's not all. Jeff Grubb also said that Metroid Prime 2 Remastered is coming relatively soonish. And this is exciting because Metroid Prime 2 Remastered is what we've been wanting. Now, there's been talk that Metroid Prime 2 and 3 would not be getting the same remaster treatment as 1. And if you listen to the podcast further, he does elaborate more on this, and from what he understands, nothing has changed. Metroid Prime 2 Remastered is not getting the same treatment as 1, but he still refers to it as Metroid Prime 2 Remastered, and from what he's hearing, it sounds like it's not expected to be released alongside 3. It would just be 2. So maybe it does have some level of significant work. He doesn't believe it'll be as much, but still something quite valuable. And so with that in mind, perhaps the next GameCube remaster that's going to be shadow dropped in a Nintendo Direct will be Metroid Prime 2 Remastered, and maybe it won't even be $40, maybe it'll be $30 to account for the fact that it doesn't have just as much work done. Or who knows, maybe Metroid Prime 2 Remastered has more work done than we're currently giving it credit for. We shall see when they announce it, but it sounds like Metroid Prime 2 Remastered of some kind is getting announced really soon, and that really soon seems to likely be a September Nintendo Direct. What might this mean for other Metroid stuff? Hard to say, because if 3's not coming out yet, I wonder if they're trying to space things out here before they show off Prime 4. But maybe 2 and 3 are coming. I do think it should be noted that while Jeff Grubb is a great journalist who gets great information and definitely is someone to pay attention to if you want to get some knowledge on what's to come in the future, things don't come out exactly as expected. Sometimes some things are heard, some things are not heard, sometimes some things are conflated, sometimes things are changed around or moved around. So perhaps 2 and 3 could come out, and maybe we do get a Prime 4 teaser in a September Direct. But I am going to steel myself, I am going to prep myself, and just be prepared for Prime 2 Remastered, which is going to be lovely to see. But those are my thoughts on this latest big, awesome, credible rumor from Jeff Grubb regarding both Zelda and Metroid announcements later this year. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. This is Andre's Restart. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you all really soon. Take care. Bye.